All right, everyone, welcome to another week of Internet Championship Fighting. Now, we've got a pretty good card for you this week. To introduce this card to you, I'm going to turn it over to my boy, Bobby Diesel.
Good evening, everybody. We got a pretty nice card ahead of us. Opening it up, we got myself making my long-awaited return against the streaking Robbie Knuckles. Following that, we have former champion Chip returning against Jose Altamirano, who's actually stepped in last minute. Shout out to him. For our co-main for the Xbox Championship, we have Alsheen McGranigan versus Luke Libre. And for this very hyped main event, dubbed the Turkish Civil War, we have Dogu Altunay versus Dennis Hendomalley.
And this appears like it's going to be a great card, especially from the technical standpoint. A lot of these guys that we're going to see here tonight are extremely technical with what they do. And they just make sure to punish every opening that they see, especially our champion.
Yeah, this is definitely one for the fans, man. Like, we got Bobby coming back, we've got Kip coming back or Chip rather, coming back from time off. We've got Oshin, a vet around here. He's the actual interim champ. He's fighting for the vacant belt. And our two Turkish brothers, Turkler and Kavgasi, boy. Let's go.
You're correct about that. And now, we're going to start this up and get into our first fight. Bobby Diesel versus Robbie Knuckles, while we talk analytics.
We're opening up this card with a nice Xbox fight to really determine who's going to be going higher up in this top 5 in that division. And this is, of course, Bobby Diesel, the glorious mullet man himself, his return fight into the ICF. Now, Bobby, what was your plan going into this fight against Robbie Knuckles?
Well, coming in, knowing that Robbie is a grappler now, the plan was to have a mix of pressure a little bit to try and get him out of there early, but also kind of working in my kicks and stuff at range so I wouldn't have to gas out or anything and worry about any possible subs. That and a lot of patience.
We're seeing good action early and good work with those jabs.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've tried to work on lately, after talking to a couple of people and just from experience, I realized that the jab seems to be an underutilized tool. So I've been trying to implement that a bit more lately.
Absolutely.
Although Knuckles is loving these spinning kicks on you right now.
He truly
he was
is.
definitely letting that spinning kick to the body go a fair bit during this fight.
These guys are getting after it, man. This is a high-paced fight.
Straight out of the gate.
That's just what you get in a Bobby Diesel fight. I mean, this man, he comes out and he just swings at you.
And Bobby defends the first takedown.
Yeah, nice.
You know, all those tattoos on his legs just made him easy to see. Ooh, nice overhand, Bobby.
Yeah, it seems like that overhand's there all day long, man.
Same thing.
Yeah,
with
definitely
the
landed really clean a couple of times during this fight.
Turning takedown. Yeah, those will get you, man.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my glaring weaknesses when it comes to grappling in any form. My normal takedown defense is pretty stout, but turning takedown
like my kryptonite. And the first Kimura attempt from Robbie. Robbie is a skilled grappler, but you can see that when Bobby has his stamina just above that threshold, he's not going to give up. That just shows the will of this man in these situations.
Now, it is not an easy task to tap out Bobby Diesel. And it's not an easy task to hold this man on the ground. Each time he's been in a less dominant position on the ground so far, he's been able to switch right back out of it and get back on top. So, that's good work.
And that was a real nice job by you, Bobby, as well, how you kind of ranged out. Robbie's having success with that spinning side kick, and you ranged him out, but that was a nice front kick there.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, front kick can definitely be a pretty nice tool. It's really sneaky if you know how to use it well. So I was looking to use that and implement it coming into this fight.
And Robbie,
Man, I'm surprised that Robbie Knuckles can stand up straight right now with all the times that he's been spinning in these circles.
absolutely, you'd
Yeah.
think he'd be dizzy by now, wouldn't you?
He's very fond of that spinning sidekick.
It's a good kick, man. I love to throw those in my fights.
Yeah, he might have taken a page out of the Champs book over on in the PlayStation Heavy Division. I know a certain Dogu Altunay who was very fond of that jab to the spin as well.
I've noticed it a lot from Knuckles in this fight. He's using a jab into that spinning back kick to the body to really kind of get Bobby to focus on seeing that spin and going right down to a low block. And then going right in and try to get that spinning to the top. But Bobby's just not biting on that yet.
Robbie needs to watch his head health, man. He can't afford to. He's having success at range with those kicks, but Bobby's tagging him in the pocket, man. I mean, look how low his head health is already.
And a great ankle
Nice
parry.
takedown.
Bobby's back to the mat, but we'll see how this turns out for him.
If you're in Bobby's position right now, Mike, what are you trying to do to get back up to your feet?
I'm mainly going to be worried about this position here, this top mount position, and more than likely that side control position. What I'm wanting to do is either get to this full guard like Bobby's doing, or just stall it out and have the ref stand me up. Bobby has clearly won this round with the rocks that he's gotten, or at least, in my opinion, he has.
Robbie denies the full mount or the half guard transition.
Oh wow, triangle armbar coming in strong, and Bobby is low stam.
Low stamina in a sub is a scary place to be in, but Bobby's doing a good job of moving his bar around to avoid it. It's close, but he has the advantage as of this moment.
And Robbie seems to be catching up.
This
It's
is close,
going
man.
deeper and deeper.
Uh-oh.
This is really close.
Oh no!
Sunk in. Oh my.
Robbie Knuckles! He
no!
subs him in the first.
Oh, Bobby. That was an insane
Yeah,
submission
that was a tough one.
and a great denial from Robbie.
Yeah, you got to give Robbie credit where credit's due, man. Like those half guard transitions from bottom top mount aren't easy to deny. So he picked up on something there, and you get credit where credit is due. That's a nice sub.
He saw that low stamina, had that denial, and he just knew he could get it. But man, Bobby, how you feeling after that loss? This was your big return fight.
You know, it always sucks to lose, especially in a fight like that where there's title fight implications. But you know, Robbie showed up. He fought a good fight. I have to give him props for that denial, for me attempting to get into half guard in the sneaky submission. I felt like I had my sub D on lock that time, but I kind of choked it towards the end. But you know, it's whatever.
Well, Bobby,
Keep moving forward.
in my opinion, you were winning the round up until then. What are some adjustments you might have made there? Now knowing with that foresight that you have.
Definitely takedown defense and my patience on the ground. You know, I'm not a grappler in any sense. And one of my problems has always been the second the fight hits the mat, I'm immediately looking to get back up to my feet. And that's gotten me into trouble a fair few times. And that's pretty much exactly what happened there. You know, he got in the top mount and I was trying to avoid taking any unnecessary damage from ground and pound and kind of dug myself into a hole. And Robbie hit a nice denial. I have to give him props there. So, you know, it is what it is.
And what does this mean for the future of Bobby Diesel's career in the ICF?
Well, you know, I'm coming up on that big 50 in the league fight. So my the old retirement's coming near, but I think it's only fair to squeeze in one more ICF fight before I finally hang them up. So
Damn
you'll
straight,
most likely
brother.
see me back.
All right, it's good to hear.
And I'm
Maybe
excited.
we'll get you. Maybe we'll get you headlining on one of the next couple cards. We'll see. We'll get a win or two together.
Maybe. You never know.
And it was great. It's always great and a pleasure seeing a Bobby Diesel fight. They're almost always barn burners, but Robbie was just able to squeeze out that win tonight. But now, we'll head on to Chip versus Jose. And this should be just a great fight. Jose has such great prowess on the feet, and Chip is no slouch either. But he claims his wrestling is better. Now, Kelvin, would you describe Chip's wrestling better or striking better?
I would 100% say that Chip is a better wrestler than he is a striker. Now that's not to knock the man's striking ability. I mean, me and Chip were both in Flying Orca Inc. In fact, half of this card is inhabited by our boys. And we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. And let me tell you, you've been working on Chip with his striking. We've been bringing him to camp, getting that boxing training in, getting those kick trainings in. Because I've fought Jose Altamirano before, and let me tell you, it was one hell of a match. I talked about it a little bit in his last fight. He is one hell of a striker, but I'm not too knowledgeable about his grappling. But honestly, the only person I have ever seen provide Chip with trouble on the ground is the current light division champ, and the only guy Chip has ever lost to.
Yeah, I feel like Jose definitely has his hands full with this fight because Chip is one of those guys where, obviously you're going to want to focus and game plan around his grappling, but if you don't respect his striking, you can get slipped. His wrestling is definitely leagues better than his striking, but he's not a slouch on the feet whatsoever. So it's always interesting to see how his fights play out on the feet and on the mat. So
for sure, man. I think this is a really interesting clash of styles because Jose is very much a pressure fighter. He likes to, back you up against the cage and plant and rip combos, whereas Chip very much likes to kind of stay at range, pick you apart with the 1-2, throw some leg kicks in the mix before you shoot your takedowns. And I'm very excited to see how this plays out.
I am as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how the two styles clash, if one or the other can neutralize the other's strengths. So this one's definitely shaping up to be an interesting watch, and I'm pretty excited about it, fellas.
And what can I say, man? It's pretty hard to put down a Flying Orca. So I got to go with my boy Chip in this fight.
That brings up a great point, Kelvin. Boys, who are your picks here going into this?
Personally, I gotta go with Kip. I joined the league around the same time as him. I've sparred with him countless times. I know how good that man is, and I'm never gonna count him out in a fight. However, thinking back to Jose's last fight against Ben Walker, that was a war, man. There's not an awful lot of guys who can get into wars like that and find a way to win. So if there's a person who can find a way to win against Kip, you can best be sure Jose's that guy.
I would tend to agree.
I was wanting to bring that last fight up, actually, Dylan. Jose rather has he's shown that he can make adjustments on the fly, and after that first round of his last fight, definitely didn't go his direction at all. He's shown that he doesn't fold under pressure, but man, Chip, you've got a former champion that's as dominant as Chip. I feel like it's kind of hard to not pick him as the favorite in this fight.
Absolutely. And now we'll get into this spectacular fight from Chip versus Jose.
And now we're going into our second fight of the night. Chip versus Jose Altamirano. Now we've talked a little bit about this already, but man, our Romanian legionnaire Chip, I mean, look at this man's calf. It's so intimidating. I don't see how anyone could look this man in the eye and then want to fight him.
And I am certainly on that side as well. His calf looks scary to me. It's something that you just don't want to see. Not quick fight or in ranked.
Dude, you see that motherfucker coming at you. You're turning the other way and running, man. There's just no two ways about it.
And Jose is doing pretty well to start, staying out of Chip's range.
He likes to start his fights technically. Working a little bit of the leg. Oh, immediate takedown from Chip. Love
Very
to see
smart.
it.
Chip,
That was really
He
nice
knows
how
his strengths.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, no worries, Dylan. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say it was really nice how Kip waited to jump into his guard there. He allowed because if you saw, Jose tried to time the up kick on Kip when he jumped in, but Kip took a second, waited for Jose to kick the leg, and then jumped into his guard.
And
now
look
he's
at
taking the back.
this. Chip's intelligence, especially in this cage, is almost unrivaled. And that is precisely what makes Charles Brunson such a threat, because he can deal with this.
Exactly.
And what can I say? You're just seeing Flying Orca Inc.'s top grappler in action right now. I mean, this man, he's insane. But that's not to knock Jose Altamirano. He is deadly.
He is, but he's going for big transitions here. And against someone like Chip, you just can't do that.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful with some of those riskier transitions when you're facing as dangerous of a grappler as Chip. Because
You're totally right.
110% will punish you bad if you make a mistake.
Jose needs to play the long game here. Like Mike said, he's going for those big get-ups or those big reversals. He needs to focus on playing the long game here and get into better positions to then get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he could definitely benefit from being a tad bit more patient, working off of his back here.
And you notice the adjustments. He's seeing that. We're seeing this in real time. It's as if he can hear us right now.
I mean, that's the one thing about Jose Altamirano that I think sets him apart from most other fighters. Is Bobby, you mentioned it when we were talking about this fight a little bit earlier. It's just his ability to adjust his game plan on the fly.
Well, you know, we saw it last fight. It's like first round Jose and second round Jose were two completely different fighters. So he definitely can see what needs to change and make it happen.
And right now, what he needs to change is being on the ground with Chip. I mean, unless your name is Charles Brunson, there's not much you can do against him. But you know what? He's taking top position right now.
And
here we go. Smart decision.
Jose was definitely holding his own there on the ground, but if there's anybody that you do not want to be on the ground with, it's Chip.
And Chip just rocking him with these straights and hooks.
Oddly enough,
Jose needs to get busy now. He needs to get busy and start working on Kip a little bit, because he was on the bottom for close between 2 to 3 minutes there. He's got a lot to make up now in the rest of the round.
And Dylan's absolutely correct in that presumption. But watch Jose. You can see he's just getting a little bit more aggressive as he's going. He's starting to feel it a little bit more towards the end of the round.
You can see his hands moving up and down there. He's keeping his block low against Chip because he doesn't want to go on the ground, which is smart. But Chip needs to see that and realize that he needs to start going a little bit more to the head. Because if Jose just is consistently blocking low,
and
you can get some nice big hits in
takedown, man. That's so quick. It's almost a pre-deny, really.
Perfectly timed from Chip.
Submission.
Here we go, an armbar attempt. Let's see how this goes. So far, it's looking like Jose is going to get out of this pretty easily. It's not going too deep, and his bar is almost full.
Very intelligent.
Kip's looking for some ground and pound here.
That's something you see every time this man fights. I mean, as good as he is at submitting people, this man is just on another level when it comes to ground and pound. I mean, every time he's on top of me in sparring, I don't know which way he's attacking me.
Yeah, ground and pound is definitely a staple of a Chip fight. He's not one of those guys that just lays in top mount just to stall. When he's in top mount, he's looking to do a lot of damage.
He is not a denial camper, and that is
Jose Altamirano is up twice, back to back now.
He is, and it seems like he's just able to get these denies in and time these get-ups perfectly to get out of Chip's massive pressure on the ground.
I mean, if I'm Jose, that's a really good sign. I mean, he's gotten up 3 times now in the round. He hasn't taken relatively too much damage on the ground, but as I say that, he's kind of taking big shots on the feet. But still, I think that's very, what's the word? It's very encouraging for Jose, knowing that he's able to get up from being on the bottom underneath Kip.
It's a definite
one round down, boys. What are you thinking so far? Who took round 1 of this fight?
I'll say, personally, I would say Chip, just for that top control that he had there for a bit, but it's very hard to tell.
Oh, let's go!
flying
Flying knee!
Beautiful flying knee.
Flying
That was
orca
definitely
in trademark.
A pretty tightly contested first round, but I'd give it to Chip. Just like Mike said, he did a lot of work on the ground and just control time mainly.
The control time and takedowns, I think, won him that previous round. But the longer it's standing up, the more Jose is getting his rhythm.
Now, if there's one thing that I would like to see change in Jose's game plan, or not really his game plan, excuse me, but he's whiffed on a couple kicks so far, and he's taken a lot of unnecessary damage. So I think getting his range tuned in is definitely something that he needs to make happen.
But you know what? A good get up from Jose right there.
Jose has incredible get-ups. He's just able to get right out of those positions that you would be in most danger.
And man, that's why his favorite fighter is Derek Lewis. What can I say? Great hook from Jose right there. And a nice kick.
Head kick with some nice damage.
He's definitely bringing it to Chip on the feet. I mean, on the feet, this is a pretty close fight because they're both getting big hits on each other.
Nice.
Small little wobbles.
They're playing so technically here.
It definitely seems like they're both pretty respectful of each other's striking.
Kip's really working that trademark leg kick again.
I mean, you can see that leg is starting to get damaged.
And if you watch Chip, he's noticing Jose is doing that slip to the side. And so he's going for that jab hook. It's working.
Chip with some heavy hooks here.
You know, he's got to be careful. You know, round 3 Jose is just a mystic figure. I mean, dude took the red pill in our fight and then just murdered me on the feet.
Beautiful takedown defense again.
Yeah, Jose's looking
absolutely.
good with these takedown denials now.
I feel that
I mean,
Jose
Chip's
is
able to
leveling
rip
up.
those out, but he's defending a lot more than a lot of other people.
You're right. It seems Jose is just making these proper adjustments coming in to the end of the round. It seems as the fight goes on, the better he gets. I'm wanting to see this guy in a 5-round fight.
You know, seeing Jose perform as well as he has reminds me of something that I intended to bring up a little bit earlier. Jose took this fight on extreme short notice after a fight of ours fell out. So I just wanted to give him props for that. And I feel like it just adds to his performance here so far. You know, he's definitely doing well and holding up. So I just think that's a testament to his skill level.
No, absolutely, Bobby. I totally agree, man. You know, Jose was lined up for a title fight. Charles had to pull out. Jose steps in against the ex-champ, giving up his title fight. Like, that alone is incredibly impressive. But, I mean, he's in this fight, man. This is competitive. And as well, shout out Jose. He did a great job on some graphics for us as well. So, Mans has really been a company man as of late.
Yeah, I feel like purely just off of him pretty much losing a title shot and taking arguably the riskiest fight that he can against a former champ and a dominant guy such as Chip, you know, that's you 100% got to give him a lot of props for that.
Yeah, he's the definition of anywhere, any place, anytime, you know, and you got to respect that.
He's like Tony Ferguson, man. He could have sat back and waited for Habib to come and he could get his title shot then, but he said, you know what? Give me Gaethje. You know, he's coming in short notice.
He's
like
all
said.
And we'll see if Jose can aim for a different outcome than Tony had against Gaethje.
Chip's pressure on this ground. Chip's ground game is just great here. He's just keeping Jose down. And
yeah, he doesn't give him an inch,
frustrating
does he, Mike?
He doesn't at all. And I feel it's going to frustrate Jose more than help him.
Well, so far in this fight, we haven't really seen Jose start to panic or get super impatient on the ground, even with Chip's constant attack on the mat.
It's definitely very easy to get frustrated and, you know, distracted when you're on the less dominant end of a grappling exchange. So keeping your patience and your head like that is very respectable for Jose.
He's doing very well so far, but I think coming into the third round, he's going to need something big here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike. I think Jose needs a finish now in the third. I think he's down 2.
And Bobby, Calvin, what would your assumptions be of this fight so far?
I'd give 2 10-9s towards Chip. Oh, what about you, Bobby?
Same thing. I feel like Jose could possibly steal this with the big round, but in my eyes, he definitely needs a finish of some sorts here to win this fight.
And you can see that Chip is definitely he knows that, and he's trying to keep it on the ground because that's where he knows he's gonna win this fight.
And this is this prime version of Chip that I believe we're seeing. He's not taking risks, not like in the Brunson fight. He's just all business right until the end.
Yeah, he's incredibly oppressive, man. Like, he just sticks to you on the mat. I feel for Jose here because he's had success on the feet and he showed ability to get up, but Chip is just showing that he's next level right now.
And a very intelligent transition there. Trying to get
There's
up.
another nice get up from Jose.
Jose is a hard man to keep on the ground, and he is a hard man to knock to the ground too. And you can see just this work from both of these guys. I mean, Chip's been blasting him with these straights and these hooks and these leg kicks, but none of those strikes have been able to get him to the ground. Even that beautiful flying knee he landed earlier couldn't do it.
Oh, rock Jose.
Oh!
Chip's in trouble.
Oh, just enough block to eat that.
Jose knows, man. I get a feeling that he knows he's down 2 as well here, and he's coming with a sense of urgency. But there you see a smart move from Kip going for the takedown. He's not taking any risks.
Beautiful. And a good denial from Chip too.
Transition.
And here we go, fishing that knockout from ground and pound.
And this is very, very intense to watch. Look at these great denials here from Chip. Getting into this
that was really nice. Heavy ground and pound.
It's insane, isn't
Jose
it?
definitely needs to get out of this position as soon as possible.
Nice transition to full guard.
Jose's
this
stand is
round.
low.
Kip wants
This
to finish,
round-
man. He's not happy with a decision here. He wants to finish Jose in the third.
Chip is not a man who likes to go to decision. A lot of guys, they camp on top and they just fish for that, but not Chip. He gets you to the ground. He's always looking for a finish.
Great
Nice
takedown
denial.
defense.
Another good denial. Chip is just relentless with this grappling attack. I feel like this kind of ties back into what I was touching on, Dylan, with
Beautiful.
each other's
Yeah.
styles neutralizing the other person. It seems like Jose's finally starting to put his foot on the gas a little bit with that sense of urgency, but Chip is just working that ground game so well and pretty much just shutting Jose down at this point in the fight.
I mean, just
Definitely.
look at Jose's head health there, man. He is hurt.
Definitely, boys. We talked about the start before the fight, rather, about how Jose has all
It's a
beautiful
whiff
rock.
kick I talked about.
Chip straight. Oh, knee.
This is it.
Jose's in trouble.
I don't see him getting out of this one. Oh,
Barely.
there we
makes
go.
it.
He got out.
Wow.
Jose's not out just yet.
By the skin of his teeth, man. And
He was
another
dodging
denial.
those hits, man.
The arm triangle
He's
again.
low stam. This could be it.
That stamina difference is nasty.
Jose's not panicking here. That's good to see, but I don't know what that stamina disadvantage.
Oh, you know what? He's doing pretty well so far.
And these submission attempts are great for the timer. Especially
Absolutely,
in Chip's side.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, I don't think this one's going through, but it got pretty deep.
Is he going to go for Kimura, maybe?
Oh, it's going for those beautiful elbows.
Jose gets the sprawl and he's back up.
Very good get up from Jose.
Jose is very, very gassed here.
Yeah.
I see Chip trying to get that flying knee knockout. It's something you got to watch out with for all of our Flying Orca Inc. boys. We love our flashy shit.
Oh my God!
What was I saying? Flying knee! Courtesy of Flying Orca Inc., baby.
All orcas are meant to fly, baby.
Let's go, yes
What
sir.
a finish.
You love to see it. What a fight. I mean, whenever it was standing, they were just swinging at each other.
Oh, right on the
He,
chin.
he wasn't satisfied with the decision, man. I told you. Kip came out. They both met each other with their aggression in that third round. That was very exciting to watch.
Their
That
game-
third round was a barn burner, dude. We had rocks on each side.
And talk about a comeback, not a comeback rather, but talk about Kip's last two fights. They were against Charles Brunson. He lost them both. He lost his belt. This is his return to league fighting, and he comes back and performs like that. I mean, man, that's a statement.
I mean,
Jose's
coming back
number
after
one.
coming back after two really tough losses, you know, and finishing a top contender in the way that Chip just did, I feel like that's definitely a big confidence booster. So, I think it would be really interesting to see how things play out for him after this fight. You know,
But props to Jose, man.
Oh, yeah.
He showed great ability to get up off the mat, and you know we all saw in that third round he bit down on the mouthpiece and fought for the finish. You know he was equally aggressive on the feet as well and managed to get a rock. So props to Jose. He certainly lesser men wouldn't have lasted as long.
You're absolutely correct. Yes, as
Now,
Calvin
Mike, what were you
said,
saying?
absolutely correct. And just to speak to Chip's skill, landing that on Jose is not easy. In fact, landing it on any of the top 5 guys is not easy. But Jose, like we were saying, only gets better as the fight goes on. And Chip gives me real Max Holloway vibes. Like, as you were saying, the 2 devastating losses, and he's picked himself right back up. It's great to
It's
see.
that flying orca training, man.
well, you know that I want to touch back on a point that I made to Dylan earlier before the fight started. Chip, you know, you have to respect his striking, man, and he just showed that again. You know, obviously he even showcased that he's pretty grappling heavy, but he can hang on the feet, man. He's dangerous, and you have to respect his hands and his creativity on the feet. And you know, beautiful showcase from him. And once again, shout out to Jose, giving up a title shot to fight somebody as dangerous as Chip. You know, he deserves all the praise. Win or lose.
Win or lose, he deserves all the praise that he's going to get from this fight. Because, man, I don't think a loss to an ex-champ as dominant as Chip really takes away any threat this man brings to the light division. I mean, he really is a deadly fighter.
This definitely isn't anything for him to hang his head about. You know, you almost took a former champion to decision on extreme short notice. So
Definitely, man. And you know, before the fight, we talked about the clash of styles, right? You know, Chip's ability to range his opponents out with the jab and the straight and the leg kicks and get the fight to the mat, and Jose's ability, or rather his pressure style. But we got to give we learned something from this fight that may not have been as obvious from Kip's previous fights, and that's his ability to counter even the best pressure fighters. It doesn't matter who you are. Kip's his striking is so underrated, man. He has got such a great ability to freeze your opponents, almost like Paulo Costa versus Israel Adesanya. We see Paulo Costa coming up against all his previous opponents, walking them down, throwing bombs in the pocket, and then against Adesanya, he can't seem to be able to enter the pocket. It's similar when you fight Kip. He has a great ability to keep his opponents at range, pick them apart, get the takedowns, and another great performance from him.
I totally agree. And just looking at how Chip did that, and a big part of that was that ground and pound. I believe it really softened Jose up there, because that finish you saw in the third round, Chip was connecting with just straights, jabs, and they were doing massive damage, sitting Jose down. It was such a great fight.
There was definitely a big difference in the head health come the third round, and you got to give a lot of that to Kip's fantastic ground and pound.
With that said, 100%. We're going to get on to the next fight between Oisin McGranagan and Luke Libre.
Heading into our co-main event, we have Oisin McGranagan facing Luke Libre for the vacant Xbox Championship. heading into this one, you have two guys that are definitely pressure heavy on the feet. And, I feel like I've used this term a lot, but they're both as game as they come in. We saw it last week with Luke and Eric and Oshin and Jay. So coming into this one, this is definitely shaping up to be a barn burner.
And Luke early with that overhand.
I mean, Luke loves that overhand, man. He's said it before, and he said it after that last fight with Eric. He's got the best overhand in the ICF. And honestly, man, I might believe it. But that was a beautiful head kick from Oshin there.
Both of these
Luke
men are landing.
definitely works that overhand well, but Oshin, man, with a beautiful rock.
He works the body.
His head movement is tricky, Like even a second ago, you saw him slip the overhand. So you kind of have to be careful throwing those big shots like that because you can risk getting slipped and countered with something heavy.
And both of these men are putting it on the line early.
Austin's coming out with the pedal just to the floor with the pressure.
That's my Irish brother, man. He ain't coming to play around. He
right to Ireland, baby. He's coming to take heads.
Oh, good slip from Libre, dodging that pool upper.
Now, before we get too far into this fight, fellas, I just want to get your guys' predictions on this one and maybe just some general thoughts on this matchup.
Personally, I think that Oshin takes this, but Luke does give him a tough fight here.
How about yourself, Dylan?
I mean, man, Oshin's my Irish brother. I'm rooting for him every day of the week. No offense to Luke. He's a great guy, great fighter, but Oshin's my boy, man. I'm pulling for him. And he's the interim champ. I mean, come on.
Oh my god!
Oh, shit!
Beautiful pull counter.
Dude, you can't knock out a luchador. You can't knock this dude down. I'm going for Luke Libre in this fight, let me tell you.
And I believe opinions have just changed. Luke had a chance to finish it out there, and if Luke capitalized on that, he's potentially the new interim champion.
I just feel like...
Oh, Rock.
Ooh.
Good dodge.
But not just the interim champion, Mike. The new
Beautiful.
undisputed Xbox champion. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't jump on him there for the ground and pound. But maybe he just thinks he wants to finish it on the feet. It's a nice
You're on the big stage now, Some
Luke
people
Libre
just handle it a bit differently.
really showing up here.
Oh, both of these guys are definitely just coming right out of the gates, just swinging. You love to see this kind of thing.
And Oshin's very fond of that 1-2 head kick. If I'm Luke Libre, you want to start to read that and duck the head kick.
Just as often as he throws that jab head kick, he'll throw a jab uppercut or a hook uppercut, man.
That's true.
Ducking his attacks is a dangerous game to play.
That's true. Oshin's so tricky on the feet, man. You think you've got a read on him, and then he mixes it up.
Oshin needs to watch those leg kicks in the pocket.
Well,
another thing in the pocket he needs to watch out for is Libre's elbows. But he just dropped him right here, and he's jumping in for that finish.
Oh, he's not playing. He's coming for that gold, man.
Ooh, Superman punch from Libre.
Yeah, I feel like the thing that you really have to watch out for with both of these guys is pull counters, especially Oshin. Uppercuts and hooks can be a really helpful tool, but if you're fighting somebody that can time pull counters right, you can be in a lot of trouble.
And we just had that double back head movement to dodge Oshin's attack there from Libre. That was nice. Libre has been really slick with his head movement in this fight, and so is Oshin, for that matter.
And
Beautiful head kick knocked down.
And he's going.
Oh, here we go. Going for that ground and pound. Is it gonna go? It might.
He defends it. Oshin's relentless with the pressure, man. If I'm Luke, you got to get some respect with his punches. You got to earn some Oshin's respect and get him off you a little bit. You can't just keep backing up. At some point, you got to plant your feet and earn some respect.
This is a very, very tough matchup.
Oh,
Luke learning why you can't just let it stand.
Yeah,
I mean,
Libre is
Oshin is
regretting
showing why
that
he's the
decision
interim champ
earlier.
right now.
Or maybe not.
Good block from Libre. Pressuring him, loading up on that overhand, but
Intelligent
Just
decision
catching his
from Luke,
breath there.
trying not to get hit by that flying knee counter. But he's
Oh my
down.
God.
Oh, the head
Beautiful
kick
head kick.
again.
I think this might be it. No.
This fight's crazy.
It's that
You
luchador
can't
spirit.
count out a luchador. How's this going? Oh, he survived.
Oh my goodness.
My God, his head health was so low.
I told you, dude. That's a barn burner.
Man, the fact this got to a round 2 after that just
I don't know
frankly,
how.
bloody round.
How many
Yeah.
knockdowns did we just have in that round combined? At least
Combined, I think we had
8.
what? Yeah, 5 or 6, 8, maybe.
Easy.
Yeah,
These
and we're
men seem to
approaching on the
fight.
most knockdowns ever in a UFC fight in one round of this one.
Now, fellas, I have a proposition. Let's take some bets on whether or not this fight makes it out of the second round.
I'm not going to be betting
Definitely
on that.
not. I'm not betting.
I
on
got
that.
$5 that says it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not betting
No.
against it. But Luke landed a nice combo at the start of the round. Maybe he can turn things around here.
Well, on a serious note, oh, beautiful head kick again. But on a serious note, what would you guys like to see, game plan change up wise from both fighters?
Luke has to duck.
Libre needs to stop loading up on that overhand so much, because if he keeps defaulting back to that so often,
2 head kick.
That head kick there, taunted him, man.
Sheen's feeling no pain right now, but look at Libre's head. I'm surprised this man can even hold it up after the frankly absurd amount of damage it has taken from that rear leg kick of Sheen.
Oh, she's flowing, man. Oh,
Another
another
beautiful
beautiful knockdown.
Oh my goodness.
And these head kicks are
Luke
just coming out
definitely
clean.
needs to start to try to get some space here. He cannot afford to just keep hanging in the pocket with Oshin because he's just getting lit up right now.
Oh,
Nice
Oshin gets
knockdown.
sit down.
He's got to go for broke now, man. He's got to back Oshin up and show him that he's not down and out of this fight just yet.
Thing with a lot of pressure guys like Sheen is not exactly used to being pressured back themselves. I mean, Libre's been backing up for a lot of this fight, but whenever he's moving forward, he's been able to clip Sheen with those hooks, those overhands, that elbow.
Other head kick knockdown.
The head kick's
kick
been
is-
the story of this fight, man.
Like you were
has.
touching on, Kelvin, Luke is definitely he's done work in the pocket. I don't think it's fair to write him off at all. He's gotten some really nice combos and some really nice knockdowns so far.
Did you guys see Oshin try to mix that up with that 1-2 uppercut instead of the head kick? Very
I
intelligent
didn't,
player.
but now that you say it, that's an intelligent play. When that 1-2 head kick has had so much success, you know, oftentimes you can expect your opponent to start to duck it. That's when the 1-2 uppercut comes into play. But respect to Luke, man. He's still in there swinging. He's not out of it yet.
A lot of guys would be really intimidated after getting knocked down that often with a.
Head kick!
Look at that!
Head kick again.
Man, at this point, we gotta start calling Sheen's right
The
leg
new
Irish car bomb.
champion,
The pride of Ireland has finally done it.
my brother.
He is-
We've got
He's
We've
risen
got
up.
Irish
and
champion
he's
across the board, man. We got an Irish champion EKB. We got an Irish champion ICF.
Look at that clean kick right
Wait,
behind the
Dylan,
ear.
As a honorary Irishman, according to Oshin, it feels great to watch my brothers win the gold, man.
Man, the Emerald Isle is real happy right now. They are just
What an
pissed
insane
off.
fight, though. Oh my goodness.
Man, what was the grand total amount of knockdowns there?
Hard to top.
I wish we could have seen.
At least it does. At least. It's got to be close to 12.
It really has, and I thought that Chip's fight might have been a fight of the night, but that just
That's
blows
going to be hard to top for a
every
while.
Yeah.
proportion.
Regardless, I feel like that was insane.
But
Yeah,
I want to
we had knockdowns on both ends there. These guys were just throwing each other. We had that beautiful round one elbow from Libre in the pocket that dropped Sheen.
exactly, Kelvin. As great a performance from Oshin as it was, you got to give props to Luke, man. He was there. He was banging it out in the pocket. He got knockdowns of his own. He got rocks of his own. He never quit on himself. He was still banging up until the final moments. Props to Luke, man. He showed, he's still top of the food chain as far as I'm concerned.
You're absolutely correct on that, and both of those men just showed tremendous heart there. I believe Libre actually would have won it if he jumped on top with that elbow counter in the first round.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
But you can never tell. This is why this is MMA, and you can't make those mistakes. Oshun just showed that he wanted it more. But with that said, we are now gearing up to go to our main event. And Kelvin, my mispronunciations could butcher this. I may need you to say these two fighters' names.
All right, right here in the main event, let me tell y'all, we got a Turkish civil war, and we got Dogu Altunay right here, the pride of Turkey, their most dominant champ, the 11-1 most recent introduction into the ICF Hall of Fame, facing my co-founder of Flying Orca Inc., Deniz Hendomalley, the heart and soul of Samsun. And let me tell you, I mean...
Sorry, Kelvin, did you say Deniz? I thought his name was pronounced Denise.
You know, you might think that with that IZ at the end, but let me tell you, it's Deniz.
Fair enough.
If you get his name wrong, he may come after you. Don't say it 3 times.
Hey, I welcome it, man. I want that fight.
He'll paddle across the Atlantic and take over Ireland just to find you.
With that said, we have a very special treat coming up for you right before this main event.
But before our main event, I gotta bring you guys our sponsor. They may not know it, but they are our sponsor tonight. Boss Baby Family Business, in theaters September 17th. It is the sequel to the hit movie, Boss Baby. And frankly, I am incredibly excited for this movie. Dylan, are you as excited for this movie as I am?
Kelvin, of course I am. He's handsome, he's intelligent, he's funny. This ain't no laughing matter, man. This is Boss Baby Family Business. Coming to theaters near you September 17th, baby. Let's go. I want to see that Boss Baby in action.
Absolutely correct. And I think I am just as hyped as the both of you for this movie. I absolutely loved the first one. Even before we were sponsored, I would watch this movie tons of times. I think I've rewatched it at least 20. Boss Baby in theaters September 17th. Be sure not to miss it. Bobby, what's your opinion on Boss Baby, our current sponsor?
Mike, man, I'm so excited for this movie that I might shit my Boss Baby branded diapers.
And on that note, let's get into our main event of the evening. Dogu Altunay, the current PlayStation Heavy Division champion, 11-1 Hall of Famer, is facing my co-founder of Flying Orca Inc., Deniz Hendomalley. And let me tell you, I am most excited for this fight because if there's anyone who can give a performance that outpaces Washington McGlanagan versus Luke Libre, it is Deniz Hendomalley. Let me tell you, this dude spins and spins and spins.
And just to concur with you there, Kelvin, Dennis, especially for this fight, look at that exact movement. He said he's had some tricks up his sleeve that he's been waiting to catch Dogu with.
Let me tell you, we've been hard at work at Flying Orca Inc., at our headquarters, game planning for this fight. We are gonna bring Dogu his hardest hitting stand-up fight in the world.
The way Dennis is dodging these kicks, it's unreal to see this kind of movement.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't see this fight going past the second round.
Both of these guys are just heavy-handed and very technical.
Yeah, I could definitely see this being a early night for either one of these guys.
And Dennis shoots a takedown.
A takedown?
Oh, let's go!
He's throwing Dogu off his game a little bit. Dogu takes the back
Dogu
here.
takes the back, but you know what?
Beautiful denial.
Almost got that.
Grappling here.
This is very interesting. I wasn't expecting this at all.
You know, we got to keep it mixing up. You know, you got to keep Dogu on his toes. If you let him get into a rhythm in a fight, he will just hit you until the sun comes up and you're 6 feet under the ground.
And Dennis here trying to get to a better position, but Dogu is great on these denials.
Oh, but look at that
reversal here.
beautiful reversal.
And right back
Yeah.
to top.
Now, you know, Dennis has got him right where he wants him. He's setting up a false sense of security right now.
And
I mean, look at that. He's got Hendomalley tattooed across his back right there. You think you can hurt a man like that?
with the boys in the booth, we may be a bit biased, seeing as all 4 of us are from this camp. But don't let that fool you. We try to be fair.
I mean,
tried to be fair. That
I
is
think
true.
I'm definitely coming into this from a neutral playing field. Sure, I'm an orca. I'm a flying orca at that. Dennis being our co-founder. But me and Dogu go back, man. I've had a lot of fun spars with him. We've had fun fights. I'm certainly not rooting against him. You know, I've got stakes on both sides here.
Something I love about this fight is that both of these guys actually, their families come from the same area in Turkey. They are fighting not only for the pride of their country, but for the pride of their home, dude.
And I believe Dennis presented a real threat on the feet. But Bobby, what's your take on this so far?
It's been a bit interesting to see Dogu take a bit of a grappling heavy approach to this fight. But I feel like it might just be a part of his game plan to try and kind of neutralize Dennis and his striking. Because, you know, Dogu kind of falls under the same category as, you know, like a Chip or a Charles. He's competent on the feet, obviously, but he can hold his own on the ground. So I feel like if he wants to keep the fight on the ground and kind of play it safe, he can do it.
And you see a big part of Dennis's game plan in this fight is that lateral movement. Because Dogu likes to load up and start with jabs, go into a jab straight or other straight attacks. So Dennis keeps his movement to lateral, side to side. He's able to dodge a lot of these attacks.
And
And you can see he's got a very slight stamina advantage right now, I believe. Over here in Dennis's favor.
I believe Dogu is trying to start adjusting to what Dennis is doing. We can see
Yeah,
him
definitely
slowing it
feel like
down.
he's getting a bit of a read on Dennis and just his movements and whatnot in general.
Oh wow!
Nice rock
body
to the
rock.
body.
Yeah, that was a good body hit from Dogu.
Oh, and
Oh,
Dogu's tired
down.
now.
Oh, that liver is hurting right now.
I mean,
I
that's
think that
stamina
Dogu
advantage
just rides out the
alone
rest of
is
the
gonna be
round on the
gone.
ground here.
But Dylan, what are your thoughts on how the fight's proceeding so far? We're almost done with this first round. We got 21 seconds left. We had low head health from the ground and pound. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think it was a very smart game plan from Dogu to. I mean, although it was Dennis that shot the takedown, I think it was smart from Dogu to keep the fight grounded for the first half of the round, because Dennis has a very unorthodox style on the feet that, you know, it doesn't matter how technically good you are, like Dogu is. I mean, I've spoken before how I think he's got the best boxing on the PlayStation side of things. It doesn't matter how technically good you are, when you come up against someone as unorthodox as Dennis, he can catch you. So I think that was very intelligent to keep the fight grounded. But yeah, 10-9 Dogu so far, I think.
Well, we saw.
Yeah, those. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Bobby. We saw very close timing there from Dennis, but great rock here. What were you saying, Bobby?
Just kind of touching on what Dylan said. Those really unorthodox and kind of like wild guys. You really have to be careful with them because, you know, you can be the most technical. Oh my goodness!
Spinning elbow.
Dude, Dennis loves his spinning elbow. I said it in his last fight with John Cage. He will live by the spin, and he will die by the spin.
But that kind of just proves my point. You know, the more unorthodox and wild, sort of reckless guys, you know, you can be as technical as they come, but just sometimes, man, that really crazy stuff can catch you, and you really have to be careful. So I feel like Dogu was smart to, like Dylan said, keep the fight on the ground for most of the first round, and it seems like he kind of had Dennis out of his element a little bit. So
Correct
I
there.
think that he'll probably seek to keep it down there going forward in this fight if he can.
Good flying knee attempt from Dennis, right just there. I agree with you. I think Dogu definitely has the advantage on the feet, but he's not a guy that likes to go to the ground. He likes to just stand with you and throw. And Dennis is very much the same way. I mean, you've seen just spinning elbow after spinning elbow in this fight. Just slipping those jabs and those straights. I mean, he is bringing it to the champ. Oh, beautiful.
Dennis is just one of those guys that, like, you have to respect his striking, because if not, you're going to catch a spinning elbow to the side of the head or a flying knee to the chin. You know, you have to be careful with those just strikers like that, you know?
I mean, look at that, dude. Who strikes like that? We saw Dennis get rocked there, and he throws the spinning back fist while rocked. I mean, there's very few people in the league who are gonna try stuff like that while rocked.
Well, while Dogu's head health is still relatively high, you know, he's been hurt a fair few times already in this fight, and we're hardly even halfway through the second round. So,
nice check.
And a nice leg rock and a head rock.
I'm very surprised that axe kick from Dennis right there didn't go through. Beautiful 1-2 from Dogu. He's going in for the finish. He doesn't want to risk getting caught with some of these spinning attacks. Great judo from Dogu as well right there. Now, Mike, you are a grappling expert right here. Well, what do you think Dogu's game plan is right now?
Right now, I'm thinking Dogu is just wanting to hold him down and frustrate Dennis. Or at least that's what I would be thinking if I were Dogu. As you see, he's just not letting Dennis gain any ground, but Dennis gets a great reversal into a Kimura.
Dogu,
let's see. I mean, Dogu's got real good sub defense, but if Dennis can just make it through these first few gates,
I think he.
Well, as you can see, Dogu definitely stayed patient here. He didn't panic at all.
And I think we might have just seen something unorthodox from Dennis there, keeping that bar away from Dogu's to try and just stay in that position and not get reversed into a worse position.
and Dogu right there, staying on the ground, letting his stamina go up. It just shows that he is a smart champ. He knows that his best advantage is on the ground, and he keeps it standing.
Beautiful front kick.
Wow.
Man, I mean,
oh my goodness.
Dennis is in trouble.
His liver might just be ruptured after that punch.
Dogu doesn't go for the ground and pound. I think this is where our theme of these Turkish brothers turned rivals comes into play here, guys. You know, at the end of the day, sure, these guys are fighting against each other for the title, but these are countrymen here. They have a certain element of respect that we're not going to understand, and maybe that's come into play here when we see Dogu not go for the ground and pound.
And a taunt there, the showmanship here. And the pride at stake is just heavy in this octagon tonight.
Well, I think at this point in the fight, you know, noticing that Dennis has his head and his body health are rather low. So at this point in the fight, I'm kind of curious about whether or not Dogu will, you know, look to headhunt a bit more or just continue to work the body, because, you know, he's obviously had a lot of success landing to Dennis's body, and he's even gotten a couple of knockdowns off of body work.
And Dennis is doing the smart thing in his favor. He's focusing on the head of Dogu, because he knows right now that stamina is getting low. That difference is starting to become very apparent. And his best chance at winning is if he keeps attacking that head. But Dogu's just rocking him and knocking him down with these attacks.
And I'm surprised, guys. I didn't think we were going to see a third round. I really didn't.
You're right. This has been a banger.
Me too. Bobby, you should be pretty happy that none of us took you up on that $5 offer right now, because you'd be $5 more rich. Oh, working at that knee.
I think it speaks to the heart of both these guys, though. I mean, both.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a beautiful spin again!
Oh, he couldn't here. He couldn't. Let's go. Oh, good duck.
Great.
Good duck.
Putting the pressure on him.
He's letting him know. He's letting him know.
Oh, neither of these men want to lose this fight.
Like I was saying there, beautiful
Another
kick.
beautiful
Wow.
front kick.
And Dogu's looking to finish here.
Goodness.
The lead hook. This could be it.
Dennis is in trouble.
Oh, Dennis is out.
And that's it.
And still,
Oh my goodness.
Dogu Altunay, man. 12-1. Who's beating this guy?
I don't know.
This guy?
Dennis
The
really-
only loss he has in that record, he avenged in a dominant fashion.
12-1
Absolutely.
with 8 title defenses now, if I remember correctly. I don't know who's beating this man, honestly.
You know, look at that. Look at that hit. It was the back of the head hit. Flying Orca Inc. should win this fight.
The
New
judge
champ.
just didn't
Like,
see
you know-
that. The rabbit punch to end it all.
Listen, Dale, you can't turn away from your opponent, man. In my opinion, that's all on the knees, I shall say. You know, great performance, but you can't turn your head away from your opponent.
Can't turn your head away from the opponent, but back of the head hits are illegal. But you know what? Even without that complication there at the end, that was one heck of a fight, dude. I mean, these guys just brought it to each other. We had knockdowns on both ends, spinning stuff galore from Dennis.
Yeah, we've certainly had a couple good contenders for fight of the night tonight. I mean, the staff over in ICF, we're gonna have our work cut out for us choosing these performance bonuses.
100%. I mean, this was just a stacked card. Even if we did have a UFC Vegas 5-esque situation with a couple of canceled fights, this card pulled through and just showcased the pure talent on display here at the top of our divisions.
You're absolutely correct, Kelvin. All of these fights were just great. And just to speak to this main event, Dennis really just gave Dogu a great back and forth brawl that Dogu hasn't had for his last few fights. In my opinion,
Yeah, I don't really know if we've seen Dogu in trouble like that multiple times before, you know? Even though we lost, Dennis definitely brought the fight to Dogu. He caught him with some really unorthodox stuff, and, you know, definitely nothing to hang his head about. But it's just, I don't know, man. I don't see anybody beating Dogu.
Dogu is such a dominant champ. I'm kind of with you there, man. It's hard to imagine him losing, even if he has lost in his record already. But I mean, you know, like we said, it was avenged in just dominant performance after dominant performance. I mean, Dennis, I think, has done one of the best jobs standing up against our current champ. But man, he is just so far above competitive-wise than other people. It's hard to see his fights going any other way than with Dogu Altunay getting another W in his record.
I believe with a little more work, Dennis can come back and really pose a challenge to Dogu in the form of just, you saw how he was flowing. Dennis, by himself, named that one of his greatest strengths is getting within the opponent's rhythm and disrupting it, making sure that they're never at a safe point.
Yeah, Mike, it's funny that you say that. Like, I talk about this a lot of the time. A lot of UFC 4's or a lot of UFC 4's gameplay revolves around everyone has their own rhythm when they play the game. And if you can break your opponent's rhythm, you increase your odds at winning the fight, you know, tenfold. And Dennis has a great style that typically its fundamentals are based on breaking his opponent's rhythm. But Dogu showed that he was just a better man tonight, you know?
It was a very close and competitive fight. And Bobby, what are your final thoughts about this fight?
I can definitely see Dennis making another run at the belt, you know. Kind of touching on what Kelvin said, his lateral movement is definitely a problem for a lot of people. And he's just got really crisp and really unorthodox striking, you know. I feel like this fight will be kind of a learning moment for him. He'll be back. I know it, you know. I feel like he's going to go on another run and kind of cement his place at the top of this division. And I feel like there's going to be a rematch down the road at some point. And as dominant as Dogu is, like I said, we haven't really seen him in trouble like this before. We may see a different outcome. MMA is a crazy thing. I feel like it'd be unfair to write Dennis out. So props to him for showing up and giving Dogu the problems that he did, but
at the end of the day, Dogu's the champ for the reason, Bobby. And that reason is that he is just one heck of a fighter.
I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer for nothing, man. Dogu's definitely legit. So
he's a Hall of Famer.
He proved that again
still
tonight.
A champion. That is almost unprecedented.
Well, since we're discussing who may or may not be able to beat Dogu, how do you guys feel about a super fight between Dogu and Charles?
That would be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, I think that would be incredibly interesting. I mean, I believe they fought once in RFC, but RFC is a completely different ballgame to the ICF, and it's time has passed since then as well. So I would be very curious to see how that plays out. But if you're a fan of the ICF and you enjoy watching the cards, you're gonna have to stay tuned because they may or may not fight in the foreseeable future, and only way you're going to find out is if you stick around for the next card.
Well, I think at this point, mainly for Dogu, but for both fighters, who's left? They've both proved that they're legit. They're obviously the kings of their division. Obviously contenders can come out of nowhere and possibly beat them both, but it's like, who can beat these guys aside from one another? So that's definitely a fight that I think needs to happen to show who truly is the best of the best across either PlayStation division and the ICF. So that's something that people need to keep their eyes peeled for, without a doubt.
For sure. I mean, Dogu, look how many defenses he's had on his belt now. He looks unbeatable. You're right. I mean, Charles Bronson, he took the belt off Kip, who looked unbeatable at the time, and then defended it again against Kip. He's looking phenomenal. I think that super fight makes sense. I think it's exciting. I think it's neither guy looks beatable at the moment, and one of them has to lose, right? So I think even for that reason alone, it's very exciting.
Well,
let me string a couple wins together, and maybe you'll see me challenging for that heavyweight belt soon as well.
Absolutely. I believe you'd have a great shot, Dylan. And that was a great performance. And just to speak to how I think Charles Brunson could do it, because Charles Brunson is great on the ground, and we've seen Dogu sometimes get stuck in positions that he could not be comfortable in. So if he hasn't properly practiced on those side, saddle, and crucifix positions, he could get trapped there, and it could spell a disastrous end to his title.
Like you said, Mike, looking back to that Justin Desuin fight, I mean, that's only one fight ago. We saw Dogu in big trouble in crucifix, and look what Charles did to Kip on the mats. We all looked at Kip as being arguably the best grappler on the PlayStation side of things. Charles showed that isn't the case. So who knows what the outcome could be? When Dogu and Charles inevitably fight, and that fight inevitably hits the mats.
And what a great fight that will be indeed. And now to close the card. Boys, if you had to give one fight of the night bonus to a single person on this entire card, who would it be?
Oh, man.
That's another tough question, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's been bangers after bangers tonight. I got to go with my Irish brother, Oisín. I think Oisín versus Luke was a fucking banger. They get my fight of the night tonight.
If I have to give out fight of the night, it's 110% going to Oisín and Luke. That was just an absolute barn burner from start to finish. Crazy knockdowns and striking from both guys.
I'm a loyal man to my fellow brothers, so I gotta go with the main event for my fight of the night. I mean, that was a fun fight. That's not taking anything out of Oshin McGlanagan versus Luke Libre. That was a killer of a fight. That honestly, I had no idea how it was gonna end. But I mean, just the fight that Deniz brought to Dogu. We've not like you guys said, we have not seen him in that deep water standing up in quite some time. And I mean, just every time Deniz fights, it is just a crowd pleasing, fun fight to watch.
It really is. Both of these men put on a great show for us tonight. And tonight has been an amazing card. And we could not thank everyone that has come to watch these cards and that has helped produce the graphics for these cards and help be a part of these cards.
Yeah, big shout out to our boys Captain Quark for making a lot of our visuals here tonight, and for Jose Altamirano making this beautiful looking card you see right here, right now. So if you like what you see here tonight, or you think that you can beat some of our boys, well, you come on over to our Discord and we'll get you a fight. But you want to watch our amazing barn burners of cards in the future, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit us with that notification bell, and follow us on Twitter for some updates.
Thank you, and have a great night.